Please hold for Trigger Happy Tactical Podcast. Shit, I actually have to wear pants today because guess what? We are now going video. So that puts a damper on doing this in my undies now, doesn't it? All right, everybody, let's get serious here for a moment. There are watches that are collected as stunning pieces of craftsmanship, pens collected and designed with elegance, and art collected for their respective beauty. Ocaso Knives combines all of those aspects into every one of their knives. Knives that are set for the gentleman. Knives meant to be talked about with a brag. Now, these knives aren't just pretty and just for show and tell. They are ungodly sharp with lightning fast and smooth deployment. And don't let the beauty of these things fool you. Ocaso Knives are where form and function come together, stare at each other deep in their eyes and say, damn, you look good. Now, enough about the seriousness. Let's actually talk about these knives. And I think before we go into anything else, let's just show some of these knives off. Let's show the knives that I have in my personal collection off to you guys so you can see what the hell I was just talking about up above when we were gentlemanly and serious. Oh, God, that's a stretch for me sometimes. I mean, I'm just kidding. I'm a complete and total gentleman that wears a suit all the time. I don't, but I like the pretty things. Okay. So, first thing that I want to show you is my sweet Ocaso Knives case that I've got. Hopefully this shows up here. It's a beautiful black leather bound case with red stitching. If you know anything about me, black and red is my jam. It has this cool magnetic closure to it, and then it opens up. And it's got this red and black kind of velvet on the inside with the Ocaso symbol. And it has a great way to lock those knives in there to make it a really cool, elegant display or a showpiece. I had something similar to this back in the day when I was collecting knives and pens, to be perfectly honest with you. And it was a cool way to display them. And every time I opened it up to grab a watch or to grab that cool pen, I felt, I don't know, there was something about opening it where I was like, damn, this is sexy, to be honest with you. So let's talk about a few of the knives that I've got from Ocaso that are in my personal collection here. And we'll talk about collections. The very first one is my Lucient OTF knife. This is the black large model. This is a dual action OTF. It's super smooth and very responsive. The button feels amazing. It's got this textured aluminum body, which gives it grip, but really gives it a really nice, elegant look. And this one uses Bowler M390 steel. Hopefully you can see that with this super sexy harpoon blade there. You're going to hear me use the word elegant and sexy and gentleman a whole lot when I'm talking about these knives. So this is their OTF. Super nice knife. Would be great for an EDC type knife, and especially when you're, dressing a little bit more dapper or not. It makes no difference with that one. The next one I want to talk about is my strategy. I have two strategies. The first one I love, again, I'm a sucker for black and red, is this black and red strategy right here. Awesome looking. This is an aluminum body on this one with stainless steel caged bearings and Bowler K110 steel, if I'm not mistaken. Again, matte finish, really, really good looking EDC utility, sexy knife. Again, it pops. Even if you don't flip your wrist and you just hit that, it's utterly effortless. If you throw a little wrist in it, it comes out faster. Brilliant. Super, super cool knife. And then let's talk about its brother, which again is a strategy. It's another flip. It's got the exact same thing, such as the bearings of the other one, right? But this is the titanium. It uses a cool titanium body on here and S35 VN steel for the blade. If you, again, know anything about me, red and black, my jam. You can sell me on a lot of shit that's red and black. I'm also a sucker for titanium, carbon fiber, and Damascus. Sold, right, is usually my jam for those sorts of things. But the cool Ocaso label on here, hopefully you guys can see this in the camera. It's cool. It's sexy. I like this thing. See, I'm overusing that word again. You can play a drinking game for every time I say sexy or elegant on this one. Don't do that. You'll be shit-face wasted. The next is the one that I really consider to be their really like gentleman knife, and that's the Solstice. This is, again, titanium. Told you I was a sucker for titanium. Super slim and sleek. This is really what I would consider to be the epitome of a gentleman's knife. Titanium body, stainless steel cage bearing with a really beautiful blade profile. Razor sharp and smooth as hell. Cool knife, definitely. See, I didn't use the word sexy so that you didn't have to drink again. The last one I have out of these types of knives is the Soveranto. The Soverano, and I'm probably butchering that one, which it's okay. I don't care. I pronounce things the way I want to, right? Another one that comes with a titanium body to it. It's a slip joint. So it's got like this 90-degree or this 50% lockout for it. It uses the titanium body and a magna cut steel. This is going to be a knife that's going to be good for places that have restrictions on the type of blades you can have. That slip joint gets past some of that stuff, but it is super tactile. It's got a really nice kind of groove right along here to get that nail into, to really get that thing to pop open. It's lightweight and sharp. So the last one I want to talk about is, it's different. It's unique, and that's why it was like I had to have it. It is this one here. Let me not drop it on my face, right? This is a desk knife. This is a conversation piece. This thing starts really neat conversations with people because they got to look at it, they got to ask about it, and they got to pick it up. This uses a walnut base or a walnut, let's call it stand, with stainless steel and the Ocaso symbol. It's nice and thick. Excuse me. And it's got this really neat designed knife, but it uses this joint and these magnets in here to actually give you two knives. Great for opening envelopes and great for opening people if you have to, right? Just kidding. Solely for envelopes. But you could pretty much use this for anything. And it's slick. It's cool. You could slap it on your desk and it really does start really unique conversations. And if you're ADHD like me, you wind up playing with them as you're talking to people. These are going to go from my desk at work, I think, to kind of being back behind us here because it is a really neat piece and hopefully people can and would be willing to ask me about them. So not only is it sexy, did it again, usable, but it's a conversation starter. As you can see from some of the knives that I've showed you here, Ocaso does use some of the best materials on the industry, from things like Damasteel, stainless steel, high quality steels, titanium and carbon fiber that is sourced from all of the best sources around the world. And that's what you get when the owner actually gives a shit. When he gives a shit about his company, when he gives a shit about the people who work for him, the people who are buying these materials, the people who are building this stuff for him, and then you, the consumer. It's a small family-owned company, which is beautiful. And that's the kind of people that we like to support. Now, you've noticed I've got a pretty decent collection of Ocaso knives, and I'm not really a collector via brand. I'm not what I would say like a brand loyal person. I don't get stuck in something just because a brand put it out. I've got plenty of people that I know, customers that I know, that will buy anything that a brand puts out just because, and it could suck, and they'll still buy it. I'm not really one of those people that do that, but I do actually currently collect Ocasos because Ocasos be like Picassos. You like that? I did that just for you guys. I found something really pretty in them, and there's a little uniqueness to each one that's put out there. So I'm going to Pokemon the shit out of these things and collect them all. If you want to check out what my next knife is hopefully going to be, go onto Ocaso Knives website and check out their Solstice in Damasteel. That thing is sexy. That will be the next knife. When I get that, I'll unpack it on the channel. I'll show you it. You can awe in its beauty and its marvel. And then you can be jelly because I own one. Okay. But how did I find Ocaso, or how did Ocaso find us, I guess, in one respect to the other? And this story goes back to SHOT Show. We were walking through SHOT Show. I think it was like on the second to last day, third to last day, because that place is just enormous. And we were walking past a booth, and the booth really caught my eye because the booth itself was really pretty. It was, I don't know, again, was sexy. It was different than the other booths that I had seen there. Usually when you see booths, especially knife related, you really get this, I don't know, tactical kind of image or, you know, outdoorsy kind of complete image. And that's what you get. They're all the same. Over and over and over again. And this one was different. This was really just a really good looking booth. And then that drew us over to it. And then the product was the next thing. And the product was beautiful. These knives were stunning when we first saw them. But what does that usually mean? Comes with a stupid price tag attached to it. I'm seeing carbon fiber. I'm seeing titanium. I'm seeing Damascus. I'm seeing dollar signs. Ping, 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 popping out. Then the gentleman from behind the booth came over and started talking to us about the knives. First question out my mouth was, pretty knives, how much? And when he told us how much they were, I was like, damn, that's really good price for what you got. Nice, beautiful knives, sharp edges, good material, good price. Damn, right? So we got a booth that was cool. We got product that was cool. And we got a price tag that is really good. And the last thing that really sold me on Ocaso was that gentleman that was talking to us from behind the booth. His name was Rick. And come to find out, he's actually the owner of Ocaso. And you can tell by talking to Rick how much passion he had behind his company, behind Ocaso. And he was telling us stories, and you can see that he cared about the product that he put out, the image that the product had, or that the company had, and he cared about us as a consumer. And when you put those things together, you really do see that kind of come out in the product. And that was cool because we really liked everything that Ocaso encompassed, right? And that's important. You can have this great company that produces great things, but the people suck. And we can learn that customer service can kill a company, or you can have a company that's so big, it's detached from its customers and its consumer base, and it just pumps shit out. It doesn't care about you. It cares about that dollar sign. You kind of lost me. So when you've got a company that's small, family owned, gives a shit about their product and their company and their people that are producing and their people that are purchasing, it's a success story. It really, really is. And then Rick was telling us he came from a pretty big, well-known knife manufacturer. If I'm not mistaken, that manufacturer was getting purchased or sold off. And that's when he decided to take a step back, take a jump head first, and came up with Ocaso. Now, Ocaso, because I'm sure somebody's going to ask, Ocaso is not Rick's last name. I hope I don't butcher this one for these guys, but Ocaso means sunset in Spanish. They're based in like Southern California near a valley. And in this area, it is known for its legendary pink moments. This is a period just before sunset when mountain ranges are framing the valley and they take on this beautiful pink aura. It's this glow around the mountains that's almost magical. And that's what Ocaso actually means, combined together. And it makes sense now when you look at the company and the product and the people. Now, I'm going to make you a deal, people. If you go on to Trigger Happy Tactical social medias, all of our social medias, you like, share, comment, you leave thumbs up and the hearts and all that social media shit, and you do the same for Ocaso. And in a month from now, I go and I start to snoop around and I see that you're somebody who commented, you're somebody who liked and shared and did all of that. Each one of those instances I see is going to put your name into a randomizer. And I am personally going to buy an Ocaso knife and I'm going to send it to you if you're the lucky winner of it. So please do your best to do those sorts of things. It only helps us out as Trigger Happy Tactical Podcast and as Ocaso Knives. And you might luck out and win one of Ocaso's beautiful knives. Sometimes you just have that long and difficult day where nothing at the office has gone right because your stocks have been traded incorrectly, or maybe one of your 5 assistants has incorrectly booked your lunch. When you have days where maybe that food didn't come out as fast as you had desired during that meeting and all things went to shit, you know that when you go home, you can still be a man and enjoy all of the finer things in life with a cigar. That's right, a cigar from After Action Cigars to just simply unwind.
I said no smoking in the studio.
I'm not smoking in here. This is my studio, and I'm the boss. I'm the man in this studio. Do what I want here. You know what? Actually, this isn't right. This a smoker's jacket is not right. It doesn't make any sense. Not if you know who After Action Cigars is, or maybe what they're all about. The stuffy jacket and the dressy shirt is not who these people are. And I don't want to represent After Action the wrong way. That's just not what they're about. See, After Action Cigars is about providing product to help you unwind after a long, hard day at work, providing you that reward, not worrying about some stuff that people like us don't have to worry about. We have to worry about real things. Let's face it, there are a million places that I can get a cigar, from a gas station to a website. And that's exactly what I'm going to get, the product. I'm going to get a cigar. Or I can get that cigar from like-minded people. I can get it from a family-owned and operated company that cares about who you are. These are awesome people that sell a great product over at After Action. But it's not about selling you that cigar. See, it's about getting you the right cigar for you and for that moment. It's the right tool for the job, if you will, to ensure you've got success in that journey through cigars. Now, I got to admit, I do love cigars, but I'm definitely no cigar aficionado by any means. In fact, I suck at selecting cigars. For me, it's guesswork and I take a chance. I go to a local place that has a humidor and a good selection, and I go and I gently thumb through the cigars, pretending like I know what the fuck I'm actually looking for. I'll pick one up, I'll smell it, I'll do things that I've seen people do before with cigars, and I don't even know if that's right. And then what do? I look at the price tag and I say, okay, today I am willing to spend X amount of money on a cigar, and I look at things that are in that area. So I look for cool packaging, I look for the right price, and does it smell neat? Okay, then that is my criteria, and I wind up with this roll of the dice gambling crapshoot. And that sucks because, like, the last cigar that my father-in-law just had that I picked up, they weren't cheap by any means, and they were god awful. They sucked. And that's where After Action Cigars website took me to school. It was pretty cool. They have this online kind of like cigar academy, and I nerd out with shit. Information and knowledge is power for me. And their academy told me all about cigars from start to finish, what cigars processes are and different types of cigars and all of that. And then to further go into it, they have this amazing cigar review library that tells you every cigar they've ever reviewed. And man, does it go into depth. It talks about the first third and the second third, and I think the third, if that's what it's called. They give you the flavor profiles and the depth of flavor. And then at the very end, they kind of score all these things together to get you a final score. And it's amazing. And now I'm guided on my journey to selecting the right cigars. So let me just show you some of the cigars that I actually have in my arsenal that I had got from After Action, which is great cigars. So let's start with the first one. I got a Warfighter Night Shift. Super stoked about this one. I've heard a lot about them, but I have not had one yet. So happy about that. Read the reviews on it. Great reviews when it comes to that. I have I think that was this one that I had, the El Rey del Mundo, which is a shade grown for a really inexpensive cigar. I heard this thing is stunning. I like inexpensive cigars that have a great flavor profile to them and smoke well. The Alec Bradley Black Market. I didn't know shit about this one. I'd never even heard about this one. So I was kind of unsure as to it. So what I did is I checked out After Action's full review on it. And now I'm super stoked to actually try this one. I'm really excited to see what this one is all about. Next one is a Buffalo Trace Toro. I've had a lot of friends that have had these before. I have, again, yet to have these, so I'm excited to try this one out. And then last but not least in my arsenal is going to be my Camacho, the Nicaragua Toro. This one I've actually had before, or a variation of this one, and it was pretty badass. So I'm stoked to try that one out again. Those cigars are going to be going to SHOT Show with me in Vegas, so I'll be enjoying every one of those at every night when I get to unwind from the shit show that is SHOT Show. And hopefully you guys will be coming with me for that journey at SHOT Show. But another important thing is After Action Cigars isn't some website that has these $150 cigars made for the elite of the elite, you know, where nobody can afford to dine on that cigar. And it's not a website that has 17,000 different cigars. That is a dizzying affair to try to figure out what you want. And the only reason why those sites have 17,000 is because, well, they can. They just want to have the bulk, right? They want to have quantity over quality type stuff. Not at After Action Cigars. No, these are handpicked and curated cigars for people like us. And the reason why they're selected for people like us is because they are people like us. See, again, this is a small family-owned company that treats you like you're part of the family. And they did from me from minute one. And I buy these whether it's a hard day at work or of teaching and training and of idiots pointing guns at me, or I'm having a really, really heavy training day on the range, or you just couldn't counter that fucking submission on the mat that guy kept throwing out at you. They're going to have a cigar for you in that moment. That's your reward for all the hard work you put in for that day. That's why we do these things. We work our fingers to the bone. We work our asses off for us and our families so that we can go home and we can have that moment to unwind in nature or with that cigar. Now I'm going to make you a deal, just like I did with the Ocaso part of this. If you jump on my social medias to Trigger Happy Tactical Podcast, and you jump on After Actions and you like, share, subscribe, comment, clickety click everything on whatever you can, and, you know, buy a couple of cigars from After Action because you know you want to, I'm going to look at that sort of stuff in about a month from now, and I'm going to randomly put your names into a randomizer, and we're going to draw some winners, and I am personally going to buy you a few cigars from After Action Cigars. Now, again, we got to remember that there are always exclusions to these sorts of things based on where you're at, obviously age and stuff like that. So there are some restrictions to it. But for most of you that are listening out there, I would love to send you guys a couple of cigars, and we'll let After Action pick out what those cigars are because, well, I still suck at it, to be perfectly honest with you. Don't forget, we'll have those links down below to both After Action and Ocaso Knives. And this was one hell of an episode. It was very, very important to us, and not just because this is our first time on video, and this isn't how these episodes are normally going to go. They're going to get grounded and a little bit more down to earth. So it's not about the first time on video. This video reflects us exactly what this show stands for in the companies that we're talking about today, because this is all about good gear, good people behind it, and no bullshit. See, brands like Ocaso Knives remind us that refinement and capability can exist in the exact same space. And After Action Cigar reminds us that the calm is sweeter when you've actually fucking earned it. If you're watching this, thanks guys for being here from the start. If you're listening, don't worry, we're still talking to you without you having to see this ugly mug. Until next time, calm hands, sharp steel, and fine smoke. And don't forget to lock, load, and listen.